you might drop by. I suppose you want to hear some more stories of my youth. Well, it'd be about the time King George VI died. That'd be in the early 1950s. I was just an innocent 15-year-old apprentice joiner working for a chap called George Pickup. Now, George Pickup was a highly regarded joiner and builder in Elmsthorpe, a place near Inkley in Leicestershire. I mean, those were the days when joiners had proper workshops, long before the emergence of the white van men you get today. George's workshop was situated at the end of Waterloo Street, behind the Star Cinema. As with other joinery firms, the work we undertook was quite wide-ranging, from new houses to small repairs, and, as was quite common in those days, undertaking. At the time this story's set, there were only 4 of us working in the firm. George, the boss, Harry, the foreman, John, an ex-merchant Navy seaman working as a journeyman joiner, and me, the green as grass apprentice. Of course, being the apprentice like, I was the butt of many jokes and subjected to all the old tricks, like being sent on silly errands and that sort of thing.
Go and ask John for a long stand.
We're going on a window job today. Ask Harry for some glass nails and a rubber hammer.
After a while, of course, I got wise to these tricks. But there was one they played on me that stood out above all the others, because it took planning and imagination. A warped imagination, if you ask me. When there was a funeral on the books, he would come striding into the workshop, rubbing his hands together like Fagin in Oliver Twist, singing and whistling. His next words would be, "Stanley." He always used my Sunday name, and I hated it.
"Stanley, get out the plane and panel oak and elm coffin sets, and let's see how much the customer can afford."
But on this occasion, which was late on a cold and gloomy autumn afternoon, he came in and he said to me, "Go and get my black bag," which I have to tell you contained his rouge and makeup and staple gun and other funeral equipment.
"Now, lad, I want you to take this bag round to number 30 Crimea Street and put it in the parlour. There's nobody in, so here's the key. Make sure you lock the door when you come out. Off you go then."
Now, Crimea Street hadn't changed much since Victorian times, and it was a spooky place at the best of times, let alone on a gloomy evening. It was flanked on either side by terraced houses that had front doors that opened straight out onto the pavement. It was bitterly cold that night, and the east wind were howling, chilling me to the bone. Lucky for me, the only lamp in Crimea Street was right outside number 30, and I couldn't wait to get away from the biting wind. I opened the front door and stepped gingerly inside. Number 30 was the posher type, but it didn't have electric light, as was common in them days. But fortunately, there was enough glow from the street light to see where I was going. There was a faint glow of light filtering through the net curtains. Across by the window was a table, complete with the unmistakable outline of a corpse under a white sheet. I threw the bag across the room, and as it thumped to the floor, the corpse began to stir. I must have covered the return down Crimea Street in record time, and I burst through the workshop door, ashen-faced, wild-eyed and gasping for breath. And there, leaning on Harry's bench, were George and two highly amused joiners, laughing fit to bust. Was it the wind that gave me a fright that night? Or had George planted a decoy? He never let on. But I'll tell you that from that day to this, I've always been very wary of what I might find behind closed doors.